Welcome back, everybody. I'm Marvin Jackson, along with Lou Holder, Donna Hopkins, Sherree Burruss, and now Jason Campbell. And Jason, we were just talking about the situation with Dwayne Haskins. And as a former NFL quarterback and with Washington at one time, talk about how difficult this position is and as a pro quarterback, and talk about what you would recommend to Dwayne. And what if you were his advisor, what would you say to him, and what do you think the possibilities are for his future?
Yeah, you talk about it. When I looked at Dwayne Haskins' situation, for me, is like, you're a black quarterback first and foremost. And when you're a black quarterback, you always got to do things twice as good, or you got to do everything you can, just a little bit more. And for me, is like the things that he did off the field, that just shows it was just, a lot of lack of maturity. And what I say about that is, when you come in, you cannot stress hard enough how important it is to have a mentor. I feel like he didn't have the right people in his ear and in his corner to help tell him like the real reasons why he need to do things. I think he had too many yes people in his corner. You need a mentor. I would try to reach out to him before, but I didn't get anything. But maybe someone else close to him can just talk to him and say, hey, you can't act like a defensive back or a running back or a wide receiver. Like some of the things that they do, you can't do as a quarterback. We're held more accountable. You're always more liable for everything that we do. And you're going to be judged a little bit harder. And everything that you do in the football field is going to be raised a whole nother level just because of what you did off the field. And you bringing too much attention to yourself. All attention is not good attention. And I just feel like when he got benched the first time, went from first to third. I said, no quarterback really goes from first to third. I said, but you go from first to third, that's telling me it's a deeper rooted issue there. And the fact, I think the reason that happened was Coach Rivera may have been trying to get his attention at that standpoint to see if he would mature during that time and see that when he got his second opportunity, did he grow enough over that span of time to be a franchise quarterback or be an NFL quarterback starting period. And I think when he went out there and they lost that game, his first start back, and then, you're at the strip club, the athletes go to strip club, you see a lot of them do it all the time. But look at your circumstances. You are fighting for the playoffs and you're not, and you didn't win. Like, there's no way you should have been even thinking about going out or even being seen. And then the fact that you're out and then you don't have a mask on, this is your second violation with that already during this season. I said, so when that happened, and then all of a sudden now Coach Rivera is looking at you because he's answering questions all week about what you did off the field. So now it becomes a huge distraction to the football team, and you lose to a team like Carolina, who you should have beat, like to get into the playoffs and clinch the NFC East. And when that happened, it just goes to show you, I think Coach Rivera said, okay, I'm trying to build a foundation here. So what I'm going to do, we're going to release Dwayne Haskins and we're going to cut the distraction. But at the same time, this is a red flag to all the rest of you guys that's in this locker room, that if you don't act right or you don't want to do what we want to do accordingly, you can follow him right out the door. So I think in some ways he was used a little bit as an example because he was a high draft pick. And when you're the coach that didn't draft him, you have no ties to him. And I think for Dwayne, what's next for him is sometimes things in life happen for you to make a U-turn in life and look at yourself hard in the mirror. This is something that I think he needs to really look at himself and say, because a lot of this was self-inflicted. You can't say, okay, the team just did him all wrong. No, a lot of this stuff was self-inflicted because if your teammates are saying you're not studying or you're not preparing and doing all the things you're supposed to do as a professional, then that's on you, and that's what he got to look in the mirror and say, what could I have done better so that this don't happen again? Because his next opportunity may be his only opportunity. And when it comes, he needs to make sure that he's ready for it, because black quarterbacks don't really stay in the league long as a backup. You either starting or you're out the league. And for him, if he wants to do good and make a career for himself, he needs to really take hold of this and really just try to mature, because all these things that happened just showed me it was just a lack of maturity.
All right. Well, we got about a minute and a half in this segment. Lou, what do you think? How important is this game coming up against the Eagles? And can Washington win this game?
I mean, it's really important. I think that that defense shows that all you need is a quarterback that can be competent. So between Alex and Heineke, all you need is somebody who's going to manage the game. I agree with Donna and what Sherree said. I think that Heineke probably should have been, the fact that he got the C taken off Haskins, Heineke should have just been starting, and said no one would have said anything about Rivera starting Heineke after what happened the week before. So you go in there now, and either Heineke or Smith, you just need a quarterback that's going to manage the game. And the defense, I feel, can take care of Philly, who's not playing for anything. They're just going to play for spoiler. And the league has made it the last game of the night. So everything's going to be decided by the time you get on the field. If that's not motivation enough for you to know that everybody's watching, that you're going to make the playoffs over a team that has nothing to play for except to keep you out, I don't know how Washington doesn't come home as champions. I don't see it.
All right.
I don't see how they will.
Sherree?
I don't know. I feel like this is a trap game, sort of. I've watched enough DC sports to know that, Lou, this is it. They should come home with it. Prime time, all on the line for Washington. How many times have we been disappointed as a Washington fan base?
Come on, Sherree. Come on, Sherree.
Fool me once, but not fool me twice. But yes, you're right. The defense should be able to get them to the finish line. Jalen Hurts, though, is playing really well. I like what he's doing, but I'm going to put not all of my eggs in the Chase Young basket, but I'm going to put most of them that he's going to be the spark plug for this defense. He's already said he's okay being a monster 16 days a year. He likes the prime time because he knows LeBron James and all eyes are on him. So I have a lot of faith in this defense, starting with Chase Young, that yes, they should be able to go into Philly, get a win, and make the playoffs.
All right, Donna, what do they have to do to win?
Marvin, this is a scary game, and Washington scares me because, they've had opportunities to put this away. And this team, I don't know who they are yet because, they start off slow week in and week out, and they can't afford to turn over the ball, which that's what they've been doing. So it's a tough game for me to say that Washington, they played it in that Carolina game like they did not want to win, or they didn't realize what was at stake. And then to have a game up in Philadelphia where it's take it all or else, you're going to end up letting the Dallas Cowboys end up getting in the playoffs if they win, and you dominated them this season. So to me, it's just according on how this team come out. If they come out like Chase Young, I saw him last week, one of the only players I saw last week that looked like he really wanted to win that game and that he was throwing everything out there. I didn't see that from everybody. So to me, that team has to come out with some fire to say, we want this, we're going to take it, and you can't do anything about it. That to me is the attitude they have to have going into Philadelphia.
And they can handle Jalen Hurts?
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, but to me, everything is on the line. They have to be an aggressive defense, and they can't let Philadelphia run all over the field, which that's their biggest problem is a mobile quarterback like that. And I'm sure Jason can talk a little bit more about how do they contain him. It's something that they really haven't done with those kind of quarterbacks.
Yeah, you're right. They haven't played a quarterback like that. They played Dangerous Russ a couple of weeks ago, but they did a pretty good job of containing Russ inside the pocket. Well, I wouldn't say that. They did a good job containing him in the passing game, but, the plays that hurt them was when Russ did get outside the pocket and have those long runs, especially the 30-yard scramble that he had. So, you look at a guy like Jalen, you're going to get the read option out of the backfield. So, everyone got to play their assignments. Everyone you can't be over-aggressive and lose containment on your guy. So my thing is you play the person you're supposed to play. This is a game that you got to trust the guy beside you to do what he's supposed to do, because you can't get over-aggressive and get beat deep. If you're a safety, you can't get your eyes caught in the backfield. And I think you just kind of, you can man up on these receivers and try to stop the run. I let them play. I make them go one dimension. Like, let Jalen show me that, hey, he can beat us on prime time against us and against our front seven and knock us out the playoffs, then kudos to him. But we're not going to let them run the football and run that read option and